Are you subconsciously terrified of drowning at sea? Are you easily confused by maps and other simple navigation methods? Are your navigation skills too inept to navigate complex island systems? Well, luckily, we have the product just for you. Introducing the navigation chart. Yes, the navigation chart. Originally found in 1890 through 1893 by Admiral E.H.M. Davis during the cruise of HMS Royalist, these charts were made by the Marshallese people of the Micronesian Islands, who were known as the greatest navigators of the world. Consisting of 1,200 small islands and 29 atolls, the Marshall Islands were made up of mostly water. The navigation chart was used as a system of piloting and navigating the ocean, serving as a memory aid for indigenous seafarers.
These charts consisted mostly of sticks from native trees, twine, and cowrie shells. However, though it may look like a grid of assorted nonsense, these charts recorded the precise location of islands and tidal flows. The vertical and horizontal beams in this chart were used as structural support. However, the diagonal beams indicated the location of tidal flows and currents. The cowrie shells on the sides indicated the location of small islands that could not easily be seen by navigators due to their small elevation.
Surprisingly, these maps were fairly accurate with only a slight margin or error. This is because the maps were made by master navigators who mapped out the ocean in their own perspective. The art of making these maps is passed from master and apprentice and was a closely guarded secret between the chief families.
These were used as nautical maps. They were never taken out to sea due to the risk of being lost or captured by rival tribes. These maps were to be memorized and recalled on ocean voyages. To carry one at sea would put the navigator's skill in question.
The way the navigators trained their apprentices is by having them lie on the canopies and feel the ocean water. This built the man's relationship with the ocean. The ocean creates the relationship between the atolls and the islands.
In terms of form, these maps are mostly two-dimensional rectangular planes. They are fairly large, averaging around 2 by 3 feet in dimensions. The native tribes sell miniature versions of these charts to tourists. Nowadays, these maps are used for display and connecting with the island or identity and culture.
In terms of formal qualities, these maps make use of lines in order to direct your eyes to what are the representations of tidal flows. The empty spaces between these lines represent the open ocean in between these islands. Since these are realistic depictions of currents, these maps are highly variable. Some are symmetrical. However, most are asymmetrical due to the natural geography of the islands.
To the untrained eye, these charts would look purely abstracted. However, to those familiar with the composition style of these maps, it would be a stylized depiction of the ocean currents.
The style of these maps is distinct to those who inhabit these islands. Each map would differ in terms of which island the creator originated from. There are two types, the Rebolib, which covers either a large section or all of the Marshall Islands, and the Matang, which depict general information of the movements around a small island. This was used specifically to train the apprentices.
These maps were crucial in order to move people between the islands and trade with tribes from other islands. In fact, these maps were most likely utilized by the seafaring Lapita people of the Pacific Islands. The Lapita people traded their pottery all around the Pacific Islands. Shards of their pottery have been found from the Taiwanese island chains in Asia to the Easter Island chains in South America. In fact, the terracotta fragments presented earlier in the Unit 1 if I'm correct, were most likely the result of navigation charts.
In order to have spanned these great distances over many long stretches of open ocean, it is unlikely that they had just stumbled across the islands, and more likely that the Lapita people have utilized some sort of navigation chart in order to initiate trade with all tribes of the Pacific Ocean. And there you have it, the navigation chart. Buy one now and get one free starting at $19.99. How are you hanging over there, Michael?